Are you over 60 and taking amlodipine? Then listen closely, because you could be damaging your heart without even realizing it. Maybe you're in a place in life you never expected to be. Maybe you've just retired, or you're finding your footing again after a divorce. Perhaps you're living alone for the first time in years, or finally hearing silence after decades of noise. This is your new chapter, and it doesn't have to begin in fear or confusion. You deserve more. More energy, more freedom, and more years lived fully, not just survived. You've been through enough. Let's get you the peace you've earned. Today, I'm going to share 4 specific things you must avoid if you're taking amlodipine. Especially if you're over 60, your body responds differently, and your heart needs the right care. This isn't about fear. It's about knowledge, and knowing what to stop doing might just be the key to protecting your health. You've got a lot of life left. Let's make sure your heart is ready for it. If you're still listening, then chances are you're either taking amlodipine yourself or you're caring for someone who is. Maybe it's your mother, your aunt, your sister, or maybe it's you. You're in your 60s or 70s, perhaps older, and your doctor prescribed it for high blood pressure or maybe for chest pain. They likely told you it helps relax your blood vessels, makes it easier for your heart to pump. And that's true, it does. But the full story, it's a little more complicated than what fits in a quick prescription handoff. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed your ankles swelling lately? Or maybe your heartbeat feels a bit off from time to time. Maybe you're feeling more tired than usual, not just the kind of tired you expect with age, but bone-deep exhaustion that creeps in out of nowhere. Have you ever asked yourself, is this the medication? Or is this just me getting older? You're not imagining it. That question is more common than people realize. Amlodipine is prescribed to millions of older adults every year. It's part of a class of drugs called calcium channel blockers. And for many, it does its job quietly in the background. But for others, especially as we age, our bodies change. Our kidneys, our liver, even our metabolism slows down. Medications that were once fine in our 40s may start to behave differently in our 70s. They linger longer. They interact more. They catch up with us. Let's talk side effects. Some are mild: fatigue, dizziness, maybe a little lightheadedness when you stand up too fast. Others are more serious: swelling in the legs or feet, irregular heartbeat, nausea. If you felt any of these and didn't connect the dots, don't blame yourself. You're not supposed to be the pharmacist. But you do deserve to understand what's going on in your body. Now, what about other medications you might be taking? Because most people in this chapter of life aren't just on one pill. You might have 5 bottles lined up on your kitchen counter right now. Blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, maybe something for anxiety or sleep, maybe an over-the-counter pain reliever. The risk? Drug interactions. Amlodipine can interact with things like simvastatin, yes, that's a cholesterol drug, or even certain antibiotics. It can increase their effects or, in some cases, block them. And then your heart? Your heart is caught in the middle of that tug of war. And here's something nobody tells you. Your doctor may not know everything you're taking. Not because they don't care, but because so many people forget to mention vitamins, supplements, herbal remedies. But guess what? Those count too. That garlic supplement you started taking for circulation, that magnesium powder for sleep, they can change how amlodipine behaves in your body. So if you're here, if you've ever stared at your prescription and wondered, is this still the right choice for me? Then yes, this video is for you. And no, you're not overreacting. You're not being dramatic. You're being smart. You're being proactive. You're doing exactly what someone who wants to live well should be doing, asking the right questions. Let's keep going and let's start talking about those 4 things you need to stop now if you're on amlodipine. You ready? 1. Avoid grapefruit and grapefruit juice. Let's start with the first thing you need to stop doing if you're taking amlodipine, and that's eating grapefruit or drinking grapefruit juice. Now I know what you might be thinking. Grapefruit? Really? It's just fruit. How bad could it be? But this isn't just a casual food warning. This is serious. Grapefruit interacts with a specific enzyme in your body, CYP3A4. Sounds like a science experiment, right? but it's in your small intestine and its job is to break down many of the medications you take, including amlodipine. Here's the catch: grapefruit blocks this enzyme. And when that happens, the amlodipine you took with breakfast, it doesn't get broken down properly. It stays in your system longer than it should. That might sound like it makes the drug more effective, but what it really does is flood your bloodstream with more of the medication than your body can handle. Let me put it this way. Imagine your body is a kitchen sink. Normally, the medication flows in, does its job, and then drains out. But grapefruit clogs the drain, so the medicine builds up. And when it builds up, it can lead to lower blood pressure than is safe, extreme fatigue, swelling, and in some cases, dangerous heart rhythms. All because of one innocent-looking glass of juice. I once heard from a woman named Carol, 72, widowed, just getting back on her feet. She switched from orange juice to grapefruit juice after reading it helped with cholesterol. She had no idea about the interaction. After 2 weeks, she started feeling faint when standing, her legs were puffy, and her heart would race unexpectedly. When she finally told her doctor everything, the first thing he asked was, "Have you been eating grapefruit?" It's that well known in the medical community, yet so few patients are warned. And it's not just fresh grapefruit. This applies to grapefruit juice, grapefruit-flavored sodas, even some marmalades. Anything derived from the fruit could be affecting your medication. But don't worry, you're not doomed to boring breakfasts. There are safer alternatives that still give you that bright, citrusy start to your day. Try oranges, clementines, even kiwi or berries. If you're a juice lover, orange juice is safe with amlodipine. So is apple juice. Just make sure you're checking the labels, especially on mixed fruit drinks. Citrus blend often includes grapefruit and it's not always obvious. The truth is, this isn't about fear, it's about power. Knowing what your medication interacts with puts the control back in your hands. You're not blindly taking pills. You're partnering with your body, making informed choices that protect your health. So next time you're at the grocery store and you see those big, juicy grapefruits shining under the lights, just walk on by. Your heart will thank you. 2. Don't ignore swelling or edema. Now let's talk about something that often gets brushed aside or blamed on aging: swelling. More specifically, swelling in your legs, ankles, or feet. If you're taking amlodipine and you've noticed your shoes feel tighter, or by the end of the day your socks leave deep marks on your skin, this part is for you. Swelling, or what your doctor might call peripheral edema, is one of the most common side effects of amlodipine. But here's the thing, it's also one of the most ignored. Why? Because for many older women, a little swelling feels normal. Maybe you've been told it's because you've been sitting too long, standing too much, or because it's just part of getting older. And sure, some swelling can be harmless. But if you're on amlodipine, you can't afford to shrug it off. Let's slow this down a bit. Amlodipine works by relaxing the blood vessels, which lowers blood pressure and helps the heart pump more easily. But when your blood vessels relax too much, they allow fluid to leak into nearby tissues, especially in the lower parts of your body, like your legs. Why there? Because gravity pulls everything downward. If your circulation slows just a little, that fluid builds up. That's what causes the puffiness, the heaviness, the discomfort. Now ask yourself this. Have your ankles looked swollen after a walk or after a day on your feet? Have you needed to sit down and put your legs up more than usual? Have you been brushing off the feeling that something just doesn't feel right? If you've answered yes to any of those, then it's time to pay closer attention. This kind of swelling is your body waving a red flag, not shouting, not screaming, but whispering. And if you ignore the whisper, it eventually gets louder. Here's when you need to call your doctor. If the swelling is persistent, if it gets worse at the end of each day, if you wake up and it's still there, or if one leg is more swollen than the other, pick up the phone. And if the swelling is accompanied by shortness of breath, chest discomfort, or rapid weight gain over a couple of days, don't wait. Those could be signs of something more serious, like fluid buildup around your lungs or heart. Now let's talk solutions. There are ways to reduce fluid retention naturally. Elevate your legs when resting. Try to avoid sitting or standing in one position for too long. Gentle movement, walking, stretching, ankle rolls can keep the fluid moving through your body instead of pooling in your legs. Compression socks, although not the most fashionable thing in the drawer, can be incredibly effective. They gently squeeze your legs to encourage better blood flow. Just make sure to speak with your doctor first to find the right type and fit. And here's another important point: check your salt intake. Sodium causes your body to hold on to water. Cutting back on salty snacks, canned soups, and processed foods can make a huge difference in how your body handles fluid. Drink plenty of water even if it seems counterintuitive. Your kidneys need it to flush out the excess. This isn't just about comfort. It's about respect for your body, your health, and your future. Swelling is not just a part of aging. It's a signal. A quiet one, but important nonetheless. Listen to it. You have every right to feel good in your body. You have every right to ask your doctor questions. You're not overthinking. You're not being high maintenance. You're being aware. You're being wise. You're being your own advocate. Your body is telling you something. Listen. 3. Never stop medication abruptly. Let's move into something that could truly save your life. Never, ever stop taking amlodipine or any blood pressure medication abruptly. I understand. I really do. Maybe you're feeling fine now and think you don't need it anymore. Or maybe you've had side effects that scared you. Maybe you read something online that made you want to just stop everything and clean out your system. Those feelings are valid. But stopping amlodipine cold turkey isn't just risky, it can be downright dangerous. Here's why. Amlodipine works by keeping your blood vessels relaxed, helping your heart not work so hard. If you stop taking it suddenly without any plan or tapering, your blood vessels tighten again quickly. Your blood pressure can spike higher than it was before you started the medication. It's called rebound hypertension. And in people over 60 whose cardiovascular systems are more sensitive, that sudden spike can lead to something far worse: chest pain, shortness of breath, a stroke, even a heart attack. Let me tell you about Richard. He was 68, recently retired, and trying to take charge of his health. He hated being on medication, said it made him feel old, like he was losing control. One day, without telling his doctor, he stopped his amlodipine. Just stopped. He felt okay for a few days. Then one morning, he woke up dizzy, with a pounding headache and tightness in his chest. He was rushed to the ER. Turns out his blood pressure had skyrocketed, and he suffered a mild heart attack. He told the doctors later, "I just didn't want to depend on pills anymore." And you know what? That's a feeling many people share. But dependence isn't the same as survival. And making a change needs to be done safely, not suddenly. If you're having problems with your medication, there's a better way. You don't have to feel stuck. Talk to your doctor. If tapering off is appropriate, they'll guide you step by step. You'll reduce your dose gradually. Your blood pressure will be monitored. Your symptoms will be tracked. You may be switched to something that works better for your body. But here's the key. It's done together with a professional, not alone in fear. Think of it like easing your foot off the brake instead of slamming it off. It's about maintaining control, not losing it. And if you're worried your concerns won't be taken seriously, speak up anyway. Bring a list. Bring a friend. Advocate for yourself. You have that right. You are not weak for needing medication. You are not weak for wanting to make changes. And you are absolutely not weak for asking for help. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. 4. Avoid high-sodium processed foods. If you're still with me, thank you. That tells me you care deeply about your health or the health of someone you love. So now let's talk about a sneaky saboteur that could be quietly undoing the work your amlodipine is doing every day: sodium. And not just the salt shaker on your table, but the kind hiding in your pantry, in your freezer, even in so-called healthy foods that promise to be good for you. Here's what's important to understand. Amlodipine helps relax your blood vessels to lower your blood pressure, but if you're constantly eating high-sodium foods, you're fighting against that effect. It's like pushing the brake and the gas pedal at the same time. Your heart's confused. Your blood pressure stays stubbornly high, and you may end up needing higher doses or additional medications just to keep it under control. Now you might be thinking, but I don't use much salt. I cook at home. I don't even like salty food. And that might be true. But sodium doesn't just come from what you add, it's already packed into what you buy. Let's look at some common traps. Canned soups? Some have over 900 milligrams of sodium in a single serving. That's more than half of what many older adults should have in an entire day. Even those marked low-fat or heart-healthy can be loaded with sodium. Frozen meals, deli meats, flavored rice or pasta packets, crackers, sauces, even breakfast cereals, yes, some of those healthy bran flakes can carry surprising amounts. And don't be fooled by marketing words like natural or light. That doesn't mean low sodium. Always flip the package around and read the label. You want to aim for foods that have 140 milligrams of sodium or less per serving. Anything marked low sodium by the FDA has to meet that guideline. That's your number. Keep it in mind. Now let's shift to something more positive, what you can eat. Because this journey isn't about restriction. It's about replacing old habits with smarter, more nourishing ones. Here are 10 heart-healthy snacks that are perfect for women over 60. Slice cucumbers with a dollop of hummus, hydrating, fiber-rich, and satisfying. Unsalted almonds or walnuts, just a handful, they're full of good fats and help reduce inflammation. Apple slices with no sugar-added peanut butter, sweet, crunchy, and balanced. Low-sodium cottage cheese with fresh berries, protein-packed and refreshing. Greek yogurt with chia seeds supports digestion and heart health. Air-popped popcorn with a sprinkle of cinnamon or turmeric, skip the butter and go bold with flavor. Avocado on whole grain toast, full of potassium and healthy fats. A banana with a few sunflower seeds, portable and naturally low in sodium. Steamed edamame, lightly seasoned, high in protein, low in salt. Cherry tomatoes with mozzarella pearls and basil like a mini caprese in a bowl. The best part? These snacks won't just help control your blood pressure. They'll boost your energy, improve your mood, and support your overall wellness. Remember, your goal isn't perfection. It's awareness. It's knowing what to look for and making small, steady changes that add up to big results. So next time you're at the grocery store, take a few extra minutes. Flip those labels. Compare your options. You're not just shopping, you're investing in your future. A future with fewer pills, more energy, and a heart that feels strong and supported. This is about reclaiming your health on your own terms. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be informed. Let's shift gears a little. You've heard what to avoid on amlodipine, but what should you actually do to support your heart, your health, and your peace of mind? Start with something simple, movement. Not marathons, not boot camps, just walking. 20 minutes a day around your neighborhood or even inside your home. It gets your blood flowing, your mind clear, and your heart stronger. Now pair that with the DASH diet. It's not a trend, it's a proven way to lower blood pressure. Fill your plate with colorful veggies, whole grains, lean proteins, and go easy on salt. Hydrate truly. Your body needs water to regulate blood pressure and keep things moving. And don't skip sleep. Rest heals your heart more than any pill ever could. Want a little help staying on track? Check the link in the description for a free printable routine and a weekly checklist. Each box you tick off is a quiet win for your health. And if you're wondering if all this really makes a difference, listen to this. Marjorie, 67, told me, "I felt invisible. I thought aging meant shrinking. But once I started walking and paying attention to what I ate, the fog lifted. My doctor reduced my dose last month." Angela, 72, said, "I used to pop my pill and forget about it. Now I journal my blood pressure, stretch in the morning, and I feel like I'm living again." And Sandra, 64, whispered through tears, "I thought life ended after my divorce. But I started taking care of myself and it turned out to be the beginning." These aren't just stories. They're reminders that it's never too late. Not at 60. Not at 70. Not ever. Have you experienced any side effects while taking amlodipine? Maybe it was swelling, maybe a weird reaction, or maybe just something that didn't feel right. Drop it in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. You're not alone and your experience matters. And if you're starting over, rebuilding after retirement, rediscovering your strength after heartbreak, or simply learning to take care of yourself with love and intention, subscribe. This space is for you. For the second chancers, the late bloomers, the brave ones. We're walking this path together.